back with more Angel. This is episode 3 of season 1, and I'm really excited to dive back into the show. I've had a bit of a break from Angel, I think, because I've watched 2 episodes of Buffy previously before getting to this one. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen. I'm really liking the feel of the show so far. I'm loving the dynamic between the 3 lead characters. I really like the new setting. And they've had some really interesting kind of ideas and characters so far. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next, and how we're going to continue to kind of explore this new kind of world and these new, characters and dynamics and stuff. It's really exciting. And yeah, I'm just really, really liking the show so far, which is always a good sign. And hopefully that will continue, because I've really liked the first 2 episodes. Hopefully that streak will carry on. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the next one. Cyndi Lauper?
See, the man.
He looks like one of the goons from Home Alone.
The last time, David.
Oh.
How can I thank you, you mysterious black-clad hunk of a night thing?
No need, little lady. Your tears of gratitude are enough for me.
Oh, I dropped my pen.
You see, I was once a badass vampire, but love and a pesky curse. Evil still afoot. And I'm almost out of that Nancy boy hair gel I like so much. Quickly, to the Angel Mobile.
Another 40-minute block of uninterrupted music. You're listening to the sounds of LA's only modern alternative, KL.
So he's dropping off the thing and Spike's there for it. I thought that was just going to be an off-screen thing. Ooh.
This is so awesome.
If you and I ever hope to take that cruise to the Bahamas together, we're going to need a lot more clients it means.
And an alternate reality in which you're Matthew McConaughey.
Hello, LA.
Oz? Oh my god. Oz, I'm so happy to see you. Good old Oz. Oz.
Awesome.
Oz. How's the bronze?
The same.
And the gang?
They're good.
Good? Good. Good.
Aww.
Are we done?
Completely.
Buffy wanted you to have it.
Hey, Buffy. How is good old Buffy anyway?
She's...
What, still the brave little slayer, or is she moping around in the dark like... Nobody around here.
Figured.
She's good.
And she didn't even send a note? Wow. That's really... This is one of those times that I should just shy away from the topic, isn't it?
Come on, I got
At
some
least she's
vampire
learning.
Spirits. Why don't you put it on? And here, I'll stake you. It'll be fun. Maybe later.
I think the trick is laying off the ale before you start quoting Angela's ashes and weeping like a baby man.
Hey, that's a good book.
So I've heard. But I doubt very
Doyle
much
is a
that
mood.
the main characters...
Oh. Oh.
I believe you have something I'm looking for.
Just tell me what the damn ring is. It wouldn't go with your outfit.
Yeah.
Cordelia, you look smashing.
How can you live like this?
Well, I didn't until last week. Then I saw what you did with your place. I just have to call my decorator.
No way. My apartment is nowhere near this yucky.
So what about this Spike? Is he as bad as all that? Should I be sweating?
No, he's not so... Sweat.
Yeah.
And I call or I find him in some dive and I drag him home.
And it's good for a while.
But it doesn't last. This last time.
Oh man. Abusive relationship. This is kind of addressing a lot of themes of the last Buffy episode, which I think is pretty cool.
I'm scared, Angel.
Oh.
I'm more scared of me than I am of him right now.
You're at a crossroads.
Oh
I
damn.
know.
Relationships like that can make you feel like you're to blame.
I may be a slow learner, but
Oh. What the fuck?
eventually I catch on.
Oh.
You like kids, don't you, Margaret? Well, likes to eat. And other nasty things.
Oh. It looks like a Tic Tac.
Annoying, isn't it?
Oh.
Probably a little of both. Someone's having shish kebab.
What do you want? Why do you keep asking them that? And why do you keep playing that bleeding Brahms?
Actually, it's Mozart.
I like how this is equally as torturous for Spike.
Personally, I prefer his older, funnier symphony. I ran into her recently. Your name didn't come up. Although she has been awful busy jumping the bones of the very first lung kid who came along.
Oh shit.
Used it shamelessly. She is cute when she's hurting, isn't she?
She's cute when she's kicking your ass.
Fuck. It's like that scene in The Grinch where he's like destroying all the mail. Oh shit.
We're different though, aren't we? We hate the light of day and it hates us back in kind.
When you're through giving the place the full Johnny Depp over, I hope you have the cash to pay for all of this.
Cordelia. Love the hair.
Wish I could say the same to you.
That's close enough, dimwit.
What is it with you good guys running in packs? Who's this one then?
More meets the eye, Blondie.
Ooh, the mix got spine. Maybe I'll snap it in two.
Do you want me to use this?
How badass does Cordelia look?
Before the arrow leaves the bow.
I don't trust you.
To coin a popular Sunnydale phrase, duh. Sundown to save him. You'll find me behind Peterson Fishery.
Oh man, Spike has the best lines.
Don't be late.
I'd love to play Spike. I think that'd be so much
You
fun.
did terrible things when you were a pet, didn't you?
I want. Forgiveness.
Yes. That's the truth. And you want to earn it. You're not the type who takes the easy way out. In the end, the ring, the past, none of it will mean anything anymore. You'll be free.
This guy should write a book. My god.
Promise.
And I promise to kill you.
Now,
Ah, fuck.
torture is strictly prohibited.
Oh. I was making sure she wasn't looking so we could track it down. His demon form, like, what?
How did you do that?
Hey, you gotta get lucky sometimes.
I could hug you. Not that lucky. Now come on, we gotta see Angel.
Aw,
Right.
I kind of really like these two.
Want so he can kill us.
I like the,
Where's my ring?
Not
I
honest.
keep having a couple of shots of Spike in this episode with just his silhouette.
I'm so painful.
I like that.
Oh, you don't really think we're gonna do that, do you?
Not really.
No.
Yes! Oh my god! Oh, what a badass. Yes, I was! That's kind of like how I was in, like, The Wish, in that other dimension. Driving a van with a crossbow. Oh, icon. What an icon.
Where's the ring? Bloody hell.
Why Spike me? Oh, fuck, he's got it.
Here, look out! Here comes Spike, the biggest, baddest mother.
Oh, Spike.
Really hope they kill each other.
He needs to stop monologuing, doesn't he? It's not good for his health. You could not look any more suspicious if you tried. This is disturbing. Yes! Oh. How badass does Oz look? Oh. You tried.
You sure about this? Yeah.
What are you doing? Well, that was risky.
mission failed.
Ooh.
Now that's gotta be torture.
Bye, Megamind. And that would be a good way of, like, if people ever got suspicious of him, they could just walk around in the daylight with that ring on for a bit.
Just give him a minute.
Yeah, he hasn't experienced this in a long time. Even if he does look like he's been shipwrecked.
So what, you don't get the ring because your period of self-flagellation isn't over yet? I mean, think of all the daytime people you could have between 9 and 5.
They have help. The whole world is designed for them. So much that they have no idea what goes on around them after dark.
So she's gonna destroy it. Whoa. Might be for the best, but Buffy could have just done that.
Oh, now Rachel girl with the crazy boyfriend called? Said to say thanks, and that she found a little faith. Said you know what that means.
I mean, one more hot poker and I was giving him the ring, your mom, everything. How was your mom?
Okay, really great episode. I really liked it. First off, I kind of want to talk more about its connections to Buffy and stuff, because obviously it's his own show and I like that, but they have these crossover moments, like with episode 1 of both shows, we had like the phone call. I kind of thought that was the extent the crossovers might go for a while. But then boom, Spike, then boom, Oz. Awesome surprises. But I like that they can be their own thing, 'cause, you know, you don't need to watch Buffy to watch this, you don't need to watch Angel to watch Buffy, which I think makes sense for both shows. And they kind of recapped everything you needed to know about like the Ring of Amara and stuff in this episode. But yeah, even so much as like the titles of these two, like Buffy we had like The Harsh Light of Day, and then we have In the Dark, and I kind of like that. It's kind of reflective of like the tone almost of both shows, I feel like, at this point. Especially because season 4 of Buffy, I feel like, has had quite a few comedic moments. I know I'm only like 3 episodes in, but still. But I like how that's kind of, there's a link between those titles and stuff, which makes sense because it seemed to be like an overarching story arc that was shared between both episodes, with like the Ring and Spike, and you know, Oz being in both episodes as well. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool, and I really like how they handled that in this as well. This is a great thing of having like a spin-off that can still be its own thing, because there are some times you watch an episode of Buffy, or you might even watch an episode of Angel in the future, and you think, oh, you know, they haven't really explored that idea in the best way. They haven't really executed that in the best way. They haven't delved into that as much as I hoped they would, or explored this idea as much as I think they could have done. It would have been interesting for them to do this with it. And obviously they could bring back concepts later on in the show, or you could do it like this. So just exploring like one concept like this Ring, but kind of squeezing more out of the idea than a 40-minute episode of one show can allow. So we have 2 40-minute episodes of 2 different shows. So we kind of had like the idea, we already, you know, we had like the running theme of Spike one to be like immortal and stuff, and him like digging to find the ring in Sunnydale, and then this episode kind of more explored obviously the ring in a different location, a different vampire getting his hands on it, then also what the ramifications would be for, you know, main characters, and what the ramifications of keeping the ring about would be. So I really like how across 2 episodes of 2 different shows they've managed to really squeeze a lot out of this idea of like the gem of Amara or whatever, because therefore you don't feel like, oh, that idea is kind of a bit undercooked and underwhelming because they haven't developed it enough, but now they've explored loads of different possibilities. So I really like that as well. I think that's really cool. Hopefully they'll do that a lot more, because there could be something in Buffy like, oh, I wish they could explore that more, or I wish we could seen a bit more of that character, and then you could have them like be explored in Angel or something if you don't have time for like a 2-parter in Buffy or a 2-parter in Angel. So I think that's actually really clever and a great way of having like a shared universe, in that sense, kind of like having an Arrow villain appear on The Flash or something, and vice versa, you know. I really, really like that. I thought that was really cool. And then well, let's just talk about Oz and Spike, shall we? I loved that they showed up in this episode. That was such a cool surprise. I loved that. I thought it might just be an off-screen thing. You just give Angel the ring. You don't need to address it. But obviously we had a whole episode about it, which I really like. So I loved seeing Oz turn up. I loved seeing Spike. Spike had loads of funny moments, as he always does. Played for a fool. That was really funny. So I love that he can show up in both shows. Oh, yes. I really love Spike, so he brings a lot to episodes for me. So I really like seeing him and his interactions with Angel and stuff. I think they have a very interesting dynamic, so I like them continuing to explore that. And him also like having brief interactions with Oz and Cordelia, which I really liked, as well as meeting Doyle. So there's just loads of different connections going on. I really, really like that. I thought that was really cool. It's always nice when Spike shows up as like the villain of the episode. And it's nice to know he could turn up an Angel occasionally as well. So yeah, that was great. Loved all of that, seeing him. Oz, the icon. I love that he turned up at the start. His brief like reintroductions with like Angel and Cordelia were really nice. Obviously he was more in it like the start and the end. But you know, he's probably filming Buffy at the same time as this, so I can understand it'd be a bit difficult to do. Have him like appear in both episodes, you know. But still, it was really cool that they kind of set up this in the previous Buffy episode, and I just think that's really, really clever. I love that. And when he came in with the van at the end to save everyone, and he had the crossbow, and he had those purple tinted shades, I want them. They're cool as fuck. Like, Oz is an icon. I love him. So I loved all of that. Obviously, he had some really funny lines as well, as always. Yeah, I just thought that was really well done, having, you know, Oz and Spike, like these familiar faces from Buffy in this episode, but, you know, they could have worked on their own as well. You didn't necessarily need to have known much about them from Buffy, which I think is a very good way of handling how you use characters from other shows in this one. So that's cool. Love them turning up. Amazing. I love how they're continuing to explore the idea of, well, not the idea, the relationship between Cordelia and Doyle. I think the two characters work so well together. There's something really sweet about them. And I like that we saw, again, like Doyle using his demon side almost to find the ring, and Cordelia still doesn't know about that, so I'm sure that's going to be something that comes up eventually. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Cordelia's going to react to that. Should be cool. I don't know if they're going to go down the romance route with those two. I kind of hope they do, because I actually kind of like the idea of it quite a bit. I just think they have a really natural chemistry, and I think it works really, really well. You know, I like them taking the piss out of each other's apartments. I think that was really funny. So yeah, that was really great. And I love how it kind of showed a bit of smarts from Doyle almost. When he had that call, and he was like, well, he told me that Spike wasn't there before I even mentioned Spike, so this is where Spike is. I thought that was really cool, just showing his intuition there. And the scene with him and Angel at the end of the episode I really like as well. I think they like ending the episodes with just Angel and Doyle having a chat. I think every episode's ended with that so far, in a way. I think, or at least one of the final scenes is between those two. So I like how they're establishing a connection between those two, because I think they work well together as well. Without the sunset background, I thought it was really, really cool to see. So yeah, love the idea of like Cordelia and Doyle being explored a bit more. Hopefully that will, you know, be taken in interesting directions, and Cordelia will find out that Doyle is part demon. So yeah, I'm really liking Doyle. He's really cool. Then everything with this Rachel, and I think it was kind of another link to the last Buffy episode. We had like another abusive relationship being explored in this episode, which is kind of an interesting link. It felt a bit out of place to me in this episode. I feel like it didn't necessarily go anywhere, or could have been like a subplot in a different episode. It seemed to kind of kill the flow almost near the start, because it just didn't really fit with the rest of it, if you know what I mean. I mean, I liked it. I liked what we got of it, but it just didn't seem to fit in with everything else. I feel like it may have been used with, like, again, come back to that last scene with Doyle and Angel, where Doyle kind of tells Angel, like, you know, this woman contacted me, and about the whole faith conversation they were having, and just thank you and stuff. So I think that was kind of, because they were just talking about Angel doesn't feel like he can use the ring, cause, you know, he still hasn't really forgiven himself for his crimes yet, and isn't really repented and paid for his sins yet. So he feels like he doesn't deserve to use the ring. Because he's still, he still hurt a lot of people, and he still needs to help more people. So I think maybe the whole point of that Rachel story was for that final scene, just to show that Angel is making good progress, and he is doing good. And maybe one day he can forgive himself and, reap the benefits of items like the ring. Obviously he can't use it anymore because he destroyed it. But I kind of feel like that was the point of that story in this episode. 'Cause otherwise I felt like it felt a bit out of place. So the fact that they did readdress it in the final scene makes me think, okay, that is probably the reason for it. And in that case, it's pretty cool. Because, I think Angel just needs to stop torturing himself. And torture was another big theme in this episode, I think, alongside the abuse angle. Because Angel was literally being tortured by Marcus. And he's still torturing himself, and that's why he wasn't, going to use the ring full time at the end. And I'm glad about that, because obviously that would take away a lot of the suspense of the show if you're like, oh, well, the Angel's going to be fine because nothing can kill him. So I kind of expected them to, for him to not use the ring and stuff. And Spike can't use it now either, so that's always good. But yeah, I liked that, the kind of torture angle, and how through torture Angel was kind of saying, he wanted forgiveness and stuff. I don't know if that was part of the act to kind of draw Marcus in closer to try and kill him. I feel like it might have been, because we sort of established with Angel and Faith last season, Angel's a very good actor. But I think there is a truth to it as well, as Marcus recognised it was the truth. So it's nice that they kind of still exploring the idea of Angel wanting forgiveness really desperately. So I liked all of that. And Marcus was a very interesting kind of villain. I liked the twist of him taking the ring, and Spike kind of made a mistake being partnered up with someone else again. So I kind of liked that twist. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought Angel was just going to kill him and that would be it. So it was nice that he kind of had a bit of a turn and a twist near the end to be like the proper villain. So that was cool. And I like how Angel just put himself in danger really and allowed himself to be set a bit on fire and to try and stop Marcus. That was really cool. So yeah, he was a pretty effective villain. I liked him trying to get the truth out of Angel, because it's just, it's not a great way for Angel, but as an audience it's great to learn a bit more about Angel's character and see what his state of mind is in, and I think Marcus helped a lot with that, so that was really cool. And speaking of Angel, I feel like we've already seen a bit of evolution with him in these 3 episodes, because clearly he's learning to handle situations with Rachel and clients like Rachel a lot better than he was in the previous couple of episodes with Tina, to an extent Kate before the twist that she was like a policewoman or something. But I feel like he's he was talking to her a lot easier, and I feel like he was handling that situation and his clients a lot better already after 3 episodes. So that's good that they're showing that kind of progress with him. And then also I like the idea of the rewards and restrictions is what I wrote down about this episode, mainly because of that scene at the end with Angel feeling like he's not worthy of that reward of wearing the ring all the time, going out in the sun, something he hasn't experienced in 200 years, which is really sad when you think about it, but he still doesn't feel like he's earned it. So that's an interesting thing to play with, and I'm sure it's going to be a big theme, not just of this season, but probably the whole show in general. Angel trying to make amends for his sins, and trying to make amends for, the horrible things he did as Angelus. So I like that idea of him not being ready to claim the reward yet. And the idea of restrictions, I feel like he was talking about he hasn't saved enough people yet, and he's still caused more damage than he's healed people and healed the world, if you will. And I kind of also read it as, if I wear this ring and I can go out in the sun all the time, that's just more chances for me to screw up and more chances for me to not be able to save people. So maybe in the long run, at least until I've learnt better, or before I can trust myself and forgive myself, I need to just stay in the dark and in the shadows and only work at night, because there's less chance of hurting a bigger amount of people. So in that way he's kind of saving people, because he's not allowing more people to be put in danger by working with him in the daylight hours, if you will. So I thought that was an interesting idea, and again with the harsh light of day comparison, which is what the last Buffy episode was called, and then Marcus even talked about the harsh light of day in that scene where he was like shooting the ceiling to get the sunbeams to like torture Angel and stuff. Just those little, you know, subtle connections that you wouldn't get unless you like seen Buffy as well. So I really liked that. I just think there was some really clever like nods to Buffy and stuff, and like when Cordelia was like talking about Spike and asking about the gang and talking about like past characters and stuff, and she mentioned Drusilla and stuff. Just those little like tidbits of knowledge for like fans of Buffy as well. I just really enjoyed that. So I can still reference Buffy, but you can still see the show's forming its own identity and becoming its own thing, which I really appreciate. So yeah, this was a great episode. Really loved it, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. What am I watching next? Let's just look this up. Because I completely forgot to check before I started recording what was going to be the next Buffyverse reaction. It's not going to be until like I've gone around another cycle of shows, but it's going to be Angel again. So my next Buffyverse reaction, when that comes around again, will be episode 4 of Angel. So until then, love this episode. Can't wait to see where the show's going to go next from here, because I'm really loving it. And yeah, until my next reaction, thanks for watching.